So it's
all
just...
right, I'm ready for this episode. I rewatched the Roseland show, and I've been doing all sorts of reading on and off in between my other tasks today, so I'm ready.
All right. Well, je suis prête. Vous êtes prêts aussi?
I love that song. All right, I'll get us started.
MLVC.
Excuse me, but I'm singing in one key and you're singing in another.
Poor is the man whose pleasures depend on the permission of another.
Open the door now and suffocate. Just give me a fan.
I don't trust any man who hasn't kissed another man.
I'm waiting.
All right, people, it's time to get your dancing shoes on. You're listening to MLVC. It's all Madonna, all the time.
Welcome to the party, bitches.
1, 2, 3. Hey, everybody. It's the devil you would recognize. It's Ben.
Voices start to ring in my head. Tell me, what do they say? This is liberty. That's what they say.
And hey, everybody, it's Stefan. You know you feel it in my heartbeat. It's another episode of MLVC. Welcome, everybody. It's Easter Sunday. We're recording this on the evening of one of the holy religious days. I think it's the first time we've ever recorded on a super religious holiday such as this. Did Liberty, Ben, did either of you reenact the Live to Tell crucifixion scene from the Confessions tour today as a good Madonna fan?
I can't say that I did. I did move a rock and reemerge. So after a late night last night, so you know, a little resurrection was at hand.
Barely robed, I'm sure.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes, well, between, popping 100,000 deviled eggs into my little pie hole, I did. I did reenact a little Live to Tell, raise me up on that cross, and then popped another deviled egg. It was glorious.
Oh, that sounds... I love a good deviled egg.
Mm-hmm.
I had some potato salad. That was as far as Easter fare that I had today. But I did spend the afternoon doing something that Hard Candy era Madonna would be very proud of, and that was work out at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Those biceps during Hard Candy were to be envied.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, in honor of the 15th anniversary of Madonna's Hard Candy album, we have decided to pay tribute to a very poignant album in Madonna's catalog. For a little bit of context, Hard Candy, Madonna's 11th studio album, was released on April 19th of 2008. It was her final studio album with Warner Brothers, marking the end of a 25-year recording history between the two. She collaborated heavily with people like Justin Timberlake, Timbaland, Nate Danja Hills, and Pharrell. We only got 3 singles from this album. The lead single, 4 Minutes, which was a duet with Justin Timberlake. The second single, a hands in the air dance song called Give It To Me. And of course, the ballad, Miles Away. We thought for the 15th anniversary, we would do a little deep dive on the album, discuss our favorite songs, the videos, maybe a little bit about the Sticky and Sweet tour. What do you think?
I'm down. I'm ready to go.
I think we should do it. Let's unwrap.
Yes.
Take a lick.
See my booty get down like,
See my booty get down like,
It was one of the best lines ever out of a Madonna.
It is quite good. Yeah.
Really good song. A really good line in that song.
Mm-hmm. Well, so let's start off top. What are our favorite songs on the Hard Candy album? So let's do the track listing real quick. So it's Candy Shop, 4 Minutes, Give It To Me, Heartbeat, Miles Away, She's Not Me, Incredible, Beat Goes On, Dance Tonight, Spanish Lesson, Devil Wouldn't Recognize You, and then Voices, plus the bonus track, Ring My Bell. So Liberty, what are your favorites? What are your standouts from the album?
Well, I would have to say that musically, I really find Incredible kind of so out there that I took notice of it right away. Incredible for me was one of those like, what a standout song, different, and it kind of went in a weird place, like right in the middle, right where you're like, oh, I didn't expect that turn of events, but I'm here for it. I think that one was probably like my initial standout because it just sounded so different from other Madonna things. Mm-hmm.
Ben?
Interesting. You know what? My favorite track from this album changes like every 6 months. And having re-listened to it today, I'm gonna vote for "Give It to Me," which I don't normally do because I stopped liking "Give It to Me" after "Blurred Lines" came out because I was like, "Oh, Pharrell, you basically like reused 'Give It to Me' for this horrible, awful song." Like, and I just couldn't believe that it took that 5 years for that sound and that tempo and beat and that disco retro 70s funk retro to like become a hit. But re-listening to the album today, I'm going to give it to me. If you'd asked me yesterday, I would have said Voices because I love the melodies and the harmonies on Voices.
Oh yeah. I mean, for the two ballads there that sort of cap the album, the ending, Devil Wouldn't Recognize You, Voices, those two are, I mean, those I can play anytime and not feel too much in 2008, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. What about you, Stefan? What's your favorite?
I mean, I gotta say right today, probably Heartbeat, just because I've been in a Heartbeat mood. And I was telling Liberty before you popped on in pre-show, Heartbeat is that one moment on the album where I feel like if anyone says Hard Candy doesn't sound like a Madonna album, it sounds more like a Justin Timberlake album than it sounds like a Madonna album, I will hear Heartbeat and say, that's Madonna. That one little moment where she says, I feel it in my heartbeat. That's Madonna. Like that is so Madonna. And it's just everything about it, the line, the way she sings it, it's quintessential Madonna. And so for now, but hello. So, give me a Madonna tour, and if it doesn't have Candy Shop, then I'm out of here.
So you've heard the demo and the guide track of Heartbeat, right?
No.
With Nicole Scherzinger.
Are you going to sing it?
Absolutely not. But for listeners, you can find the guide track that Nicole Scherzinger recorded of Heartbeat for Madonna. It leaked in like 2011 when a whole bunch of those other leaks, like Across the Sky and La La and all those songs.
Love those.
Yes.
I know I love. Okay, we got to talk about the unreleased songs later.
You know what? Thank you for reminding me about Across the Sky.
Yeah. We got to do the songs that didn't make the album a little bit later because there's a few others. But it's very interesting because I was always like, well, wait, did Pharrell write Heartbeat? And then Nicole recorded it and then Madonna heard it. And she's like, I'm going to change because there are lyrical changes. And then the part that you're talking about, the feeling in my heartbeat, she sings a little different. But yeah, that's interesting. Like the progression of that, because then when I heard the demo, I was like, oh, but then you go back and listen to the track and you're like, even if Pharrell wrote 90% of the record, you're like, okay, but that 10% that was added completely makes it the song. So it's very interesting. Anyway, we'll talk more about the release tracks in a minute.
But thank you for reminding me about the leaks, because there were a couple leaks that happened before we actually heard the Hard Candy album, most specifically Beat Goes On. And I remember when Beat Goes On was drastically different from the version that is on the album. The version that what was it? The instrumentation, I can't keep waiting for you. I can't keep waiting. And it was something about always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Well, it had the George Harrison "Here Comes the Sun" lyrics, and you were just like, what?
Yeah, go ahead, Liberty. What was it? Go ahead.
I don't remember. I don't know. It's just something. She's got too much pride. Something there that's so cute. I don't know. I actually like that. I like because I don't really like the album version much.
Really? I like the album version of Beat Goes On way better than the demo.
Yeah, love the album version of Beat Goes On. If we could get Madonna, if we could get a re-release of Beat Goes On minus the stupid ass Kanye on that. Kanye or like redo Beat Goes On with somebody else. Like let Takesha do Kanye's part or something. But like fucking Kanye, get him off that album. Like what a piece of trash he is. And he was okay when he was on the album. I tolerated it, but it's just like otherwise, it's like enough. Go away.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I mean,
rant over.
it never sat well with me anyway. I mean, I don't hate. At that time, didn't hate Kanye. I don't hate him. I just find him like I don't give him any thought, honestly. But I think she probably herself would, she could kind of dial back and say, well, maybe that was less than stellar decision making on my part. I don't know. I think that it could have gone. He could have had absolutely no place on the song. Maybe I would like it better. It's just not. Like, it's just of all of the songs on that album, to me, Beat Goes On is kind of like, yeah, okay. Like, it doesn't do anything.
I mean, it was a little sister to Give It To Me, but whereas Dance Tonight was like Give It To Me's brother, so they were like deep in the groove and they were dance songs, and then Beat Goes On was Pharrell mining that same sort of, neo-funk post-disco territory that he was using again years later and being much more successful with it. But yeah, the Kanye rap, I mean, it made sense at the time because of where he was at his career and what she was doing overall, but it didn't really add anything. I really enjoyed the song live too, like in the stadium setting. The arrangement and the instrumentation really translated well, more because it had the scope to fill the stadium, whereas on the record you were just kind of like, oh, okay.
I mean, I think Beat Goes On has some of like my favorite Madonna moments from the album, where it's like that, say what you like, do what you feel, you know exactly who you are, the time is right now, all that part. And then I love the whole part where she's like, let's go. It's like that's so Madonna, that little voice. Yeah. It's just, there's some brilliant moments that she has throughout the album. Can we talk about the fact that a lot of people don't like Hard Candy? Let's get that out there first. It's like a lot of people look at this album and this is like one of those fans are split. Some people hate it, some people love it.
Well, yeah. I mean, part of that is because at the time it felt like she was chasing the trend instead of making it. But she even addressed that in Rolling Stone and on MTV, where she was like, I just wanted to do something different. She wasn't interested in really innovating. She clearly was thinking, okay, I'm going to finish out this contract, give them some radio friendly music, and then I'm going to go on this amazing tour with songs that translate well. But as I was saying earlier, you listen to it now, because when MDNA came out, people were like, oh, it's a divorce album because of like that gangbang song or bang, whatever it was called.
Love Spent.
I don't give up.
Well, Love Spent, yeah, but was that really about Guy Ritchie, or was it about one of the boy toys trying to get some money out of her? I feel like this album was the divorce as it was happening, like not necessarily divorce, but the dissolution of the relationship.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
from Miles Away,
come on, exactly.
Incredible. She's Not Me, like totally is about the other woman sort of thing. Voices also.
Yes, Devil Wouldn't Recognize.
Yeah, it 100% is those things were starting to percate up.
Well, and even time. Just the joy, there are some minutes like of joy on the song, like on the album where, for example, Candy Shop, a lot of of the playful part of who Madonna is, where we kind of felt that was stifled in her relationship with her ex-husband.
Yes.
I think that this was her, trickling that in where she felt that it was okay. And maybe this was the only spot really in her life at the time where she could infuse some of her normal, and which dancing, we already know that's like her, that's who she is and what she's all about. Spanish lesson though, I don't know. Why.
Now, a lot of people give Spanish lesson flack, and I gotta say, I kind of love that song. If you listen to the Sticky and Sweet version, the live version, it's kind of good. It kind of slaps. It's
Stefan, I'm with both of you. I think as a deep album cut, it's kind of meh. but that's one of those songs I think she was writing it for the stadium.
Yeah.
And I think that was the intention and it had that big number with the reveals of the outfits and everything.
So good.
Yeah. It worked in the show, even though it's a goofy song. But Madonna's made plenty of goofy songs. Hello,
I love New York.
Love Makes the World Go Round, Jimmy Jimmy, Dear Jessie. Like, come on.
Every album's going to have a sort of like a light moment, and Spanish Lesson is probably that moment.
Maybe, but I'm as a language teacher, I just thought it was way too hokey. I want her to seriously teach.
That's legit.
It's not that I want her to teach me Spanish. Okay, I get that that's like sort of a tongue in cheek, which is
some
what
metaphor.
she's known for it. Yeah, I know. It's just like yes, where it's like, okay, I know, there's not an actual. I don't know. Anyways, all of those things said, I think it's just, to me, it's overall it's too hokey. I don't know why, but it is.
If it was called French Lesson, you'd be all on board, Liberty.
Well, she can do French Lesson because she has, a lot of French in her.
Or German Lesson.
Life.
Liberty'd be like, exactly.
No,
you'd all be celebrating. You'd be teaching all the kids in your classes how to sing. Okay, well, to kids, this week we're learning Madonna's Spanish Lesson song.
Oh, Lord. Wait, do we think part of the problem is the title of it, calling it Spanish Lesson? What if she had just called it Tango?
Yeah, maybe that would help.
Because the title of the song never really shows up in the lyrics,
right.
And the hook and the melody and the chorus have sort of have something to do with it, but don't. It's like a weird, like inverted Latin lover. I mean, it's an awful trope, but it was 2008 and people still did that sort of thing. But I always thought like it was a bad song title.
Yeah, it is. I think
it's kind of like on Erotica where you saw Why Is It So Hard? And you're like, oh, she's going there. And then it was a song about world peace.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I just kind of always liked the beat to it. It's a fun dancey beat. And
I think I might like it if it had no words.
Or different words, maybe.
Interesting.
I don't know. I'm going to take that track apart later in my,
okay. Well,
is it your skip?
I was going to say, let's bring up a hot topic here on MLVC, the topic of skipping a Madonna song. So, as we all know, Stefan got shit on for skipping Skin on the Ray of Light album. Let's now talk about what song we'd skip on Hard Candy, because it sounds like y'all have some skips on this album.
Can I tell you that I'm the one who's going to get the hate for the song I skip on this album?
Oh, okay. Well, Liberty, let's start with you.
Start with Liberty.
You might have quite a few skips on Hard Candy.
I do actually, because look, there's a lot of songs on this record which are good for certain moods, not good for other moods. Okay, if you're in a great mood, your party mood, you don't really want to skip. You might skip Miles Away, for example, if you're in the party mood, right? And I'll say I skip Miles Away kind of a lot, and I know that's controversial. It's okay. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna be that.
I'm breathing. It's okay.
I'm gonna be that
I'm breathing.
It's okay because you skip Skin and I skip Miles Away.
Not anymore.
So, well, okay.
Not anymore. After you gave me Chinese water torture, I'm like now like skin-tastic. It's I'm having a T-shirt made up.
Goodness.
I've listened to Skin 100 times and all I've got was his T-shirt.
Just Miles Away to me is boring. It's boring.
Have you listened to some of the remixes, like the Crowd Electric remix of Miles Away?
That's the other thing about me, guys. Remixes and I'm kind of like, oh, that's fun. But I never go like, well, maybe this will turn me on. If I don't like the original song, I'm definitely not checking out the remix to see if I like that better.
I'm surprised that you would turn your back on Miles Away because it's so guitar heavy and you're such a guitarist.
It's so melodic and pretty.
I think that you would want to sit down and acoustically sing Miles Away.
Maybe it pisses me off that somebody did that to her. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But she felt sad enough.
We're going to have to get to the root of the problem here.
I feel like we're about to have like a therapeutic breakthrough here, just like with Skin and Stefan.
Yeah, seriously, because Miles Away is kind of a beautiful track.
Well, and I should have been able to identify because, I was in a very long distance relationship with my now husband, but prior to this record, okay. But maybe that's why it's also part of this. Like, I already been there, done that. It's fine. Look, if he doesn't like you, he doesn't like you. Like, cut him off. You know.
I mean, I've always thought Miles Away is very bittersweet and sad. Like, it's such a beautiful song, but you could hear like Madonna tends to. When she writes, I don't feel like sometimes she's writing about herself. She's, writing about a story that she's heard about somebody else, or she's putting herself in the shoes of another character. But I felt like Miles Away, I'm like, no, that's her and Guy Ritchie.
That's,
like,
definitely.
100%.
That is like, if y'all watched, I'm going to tell you a secret, you can see that that's the result in Miles Away, you know?
Absolutely. And Miles Away is in my top 10 songs I wish younger artists would discover and cover because it's such a good melody. It's such a well-constructed song. It's not difficult to sing, and somebody with a really good voice could really do something interesting.
Oh, I mean, Liberty, like, you would sound so beautiful singing that song.
Yes.
Liberty, the lyrics, too much of no sound. I mean, come on.
Great.
It's so good. It's so good.
Look, in my defense, okay, I don't hate it. It's just one that I'm like, this is a little too sad. I'm gonna skip.
Okay.
It's a little too.
All right, fine. Well, let's turn our attention to Benjamin. Benjamin, what song do you skip?
Oh, I skip Devil Wouldn't Recognize You every time, no matter the mood. I hate that song.
Guys, I'm done. I'm out. Click. Goodbye.
Liberty's going Miles Away.
When I found out that Joe Henry was the original co-writer on that and that the two of them had been working on that for years, I was just like, well, one, why? And two, I'm not surprised because it's terrible and no amount of effort is ever going to fix it. Wow. And then they let Justin Timberlake on it and he turns it into one of his songs from Future Sex Love Sounds, and I just was so annoyed. I just can't.
Wow.
I even skip it when I watch the Sticky and Sweet tour. Blech, 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 blech.
Okay, yeah, I do. I would do that too, but I love that song.
I can't.
Wow.
I just can't.
I'm
absolutely.
surprised.
I don't like the way that she sings it. I feel like her voice is, and this could be in the mix. I want a different vocal performance on it too. Maybe then I would like it a little bit better. I know, and that's a huge fan favorite, and people loved it, and people lost their mind for it on the tour. I can't with that song. I would like to hear what her and Joe were doing before Timberlake got his fingers on it.
Yeah, that would be actually interesting. But I still like it either. But I also do like Justin Timberlake. So.
Oh, see, I don't. I used to, and then I don't. And I like some of his songs, but overall, I just feel like he does the same thing every time.
Post the first like volume 1 of 2020 Visions, I haven't really caught on anything that he's done, but
what you mean the Trolls song? I got this feeling.
Oh no, absolutely not. Now my kids love that song, but I'm not gonna, that's not the one for me. But
whatever, I don't even know.
I know it actually has some great lyrics. Like, I mean, just The Devil Wouldn't Recognize You, but I Do is great. But like what they did with it structurally, I just can't.
So
sorry, fandom. I hate that song.
You bring up an interesting point because I have always thought that maybe if we reproduced the Hard Candy album, that some of the tracks that people don't sort of resonate with might change people's minds. It maybe if you got rid of Justin Timberlake or Timbaland's feel, or like maybe that would change your feelings about Devil Would Recognize You.
The thing about Justin Timberlake, he also has a little bit of a hokey, he'll always have one or two songs on his album where you're like, Justin, you want me to take you seriously, or do you want me to call you a dumbass? Because what you've just put, for public consumption is absolutely trash. But the other songs, it's just like one or two where you're, and I don't know if he does that where he's like, this is who I really am and who I really want to be, but I'm going to go ahead and put all those other fluff songs. And then maybe somebody will love these two trash songs that, I've worked so hard on.
I don't know. Who knows? But I wanted to like it, but I just can't.
And that to me is shocking, Ben. From you,
it's shocking to other friends of mine who are Madonna fans, who
particularly from the writing part, like
but
the
see what they
words.
Took the good writing and like ruined it with everything else. All the accoutrement and all the editing choices are so bad. Like, where was the editing? Where was Spike Stent in there telling Danja and Timberpuke and Timbaland to get out and to like let Pharrell have his hands on that one, or somebody bring Guy Sigsworth in to fix it. I don't know. It's a no.
I just want to say how happy I am to hear that you two have songs that you don't like on an album, simply because I feel like I got my name dragged through the mud on this podcast, and every one of the fans who listens to the show were all like, I can't believe it, blah, 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 blah. Well, so you've heard it here, folks. Liberty doesn't like Miles
like
Away.
one of the most
cherished songs on the album.
Love it. I know. It's fine.
And Ben is trashing Devil Wouldn't Recognize You. So
listen, they can come for me because I got the essay ready to put them in their place. So bring it.
All
okay,
right.
Stephen, what's your skip?
Of course, Stefan does have a skip because there's always one song on a Madonna album.
Can I guess?
Yes, you can.
Okay. She's Not Me.
Hell no. Are you crazy?
No. But he doesn't skip that. Wait, I want to guess now.
Well, Ben, why don't you think I skip? Why don't I skip She's Not Me? You should know.
Because that song bangs and it's so good. And there's a certain sort of like, especially when it came out, there was a certain like gay anthem energy to that song that like if you were in those pre-apps and like internet dating days, like a lot of the gays, we were like, okay, Madonna, we hear you, we see you.
Well, I mean, come on. Even the whole thing, Wendy, like,
when Wendy Melvoin starts playing that, oh my God, I lost my mind when I realized who that
she
was.
Drops that name in the middle of it. It's just like, who's Wendy? Like, even if you
from the Revolution, hello,
exactly.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh, I did. I knew immediately when I heard that bass going. I was like, "Oh my God, is Wendy Melvoin on this track?" And like, I immediately got the booklet out, and I was like, "Oh my," because I'm a huge Prince fan too. So, oh my Lord. Okay, what do you skip? I bet you actually skip Incredible.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes, I do. Come on. Easy. That was easy.
It's as chaotic as Skin was, and you don't like the chaotic songs.
No. The fact that it changes somewhere in the middle and the speed goes up and down. I'm like, Madonna, what are you doing with this? Like, I don't... No. Incredible. No. It's like, I don't even like the way she sounds. Ooh.
See, now, Liberty, I'm with you. I actually love Incredible. I think of it as like a suite. It's actually like 3 musical pieces put together with tempo and time changes. And like the pitching on her voice and the way that, I mean, it almost becomes like it's like a White Party in Palm Springs circuit track by the end. I was like, what were they smoking in the studio? It was so wonderful and inventive and creative. I loved it.
See, I just felt like Incredible sort of stuck out. Like maybe if Incredible was on another album, it would have like been okay. But like she's got me in a vibe. We're starting off with Candy Shop.
Yeah,
we're going into 4 minutes. It's like there's all this like R&B, it's very funk, and then all of a sudden Incredible comes and it's kind of not like the rest of them, and it definitely divides the album. And
Yeah.
Lyrically, it's on. Now I pulled up the lyric sheet. It is lyrically on par with the rest of the album. But you're right. The production and the musicality are more in alignment with probably like MDNA. Actually.
Yeah. But every now and again, just for shits and giggles, I'll sit through Incredible just because I'm like, should I give it another chance? And then I'm like, next. So
it even shares that weird bridge. What was that? The bonus track on MDNA that was the dun 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 dun, because it's got this part where I remember when you were the one, you were my friend, you gave me life, you were the sun. It's like very best friend. That's what it's called.
Best friend.
Yeah,
and it's got that similar.
I could see that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but look, I love me the Pharrell tracks on this album.
100%.
Come on. It's like fantastic. And what you were saying, Ben, the fact that Madonna put this out in 2008, and it took how long for people to come out and say, Pharrell's amazing. This is like, we need his sound. It's all over the place. And I'm like, wait, so y'all were shitting on Madonna in 2008 saying she's doing a tired old chasing the trends album. And yet 5 years later, everyone's like Pharrell.
But here's the thing.
That sounds all over the place.
He was shifting his sound from what he was doing with like Exhibit and Britney and people like that. Like the kind of artists he had been producing up to that point, even what he did with Justin on Justin's first solo album.
Justified.
He really wasn't on the second one as much. He only did like a couple of tracks, if I remember correctly. And Pharrell was kind of like starting to like, have his first like valley in his production career. And a lot of what he did on this album was a shift. He was doing a shift in how he was building his songs. And, it's credited to the Neptunes, but this is also where he was starting to do more on his own, because you notice that he is the only credited songwriter with Madonna. Chad of the Neptunes is not. So they weren't writing them as a duo, like an NERD record. It was just Pharrell, and he was trying new stuff. And then 5-6 years later, that's same stuff he was doing, he had refined it to the point he was having massive hits with it.
Yeah.
But
he'd already had like, Gwen with Hollaback Girl, he'd had a huge, at least in 2004, he was already on people's radar, because I think he wasn't really a household name until then, even though
they hit it big in like 2001, 2002 after they did
right. Like, I remember hearing about
Boys and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
But where it got huge was Hollaback Girl, I think.
Oh yeah. That was his first shift, because they started doing that deep rubbery like Southern bass that had mostly been in like Outkast and people like that. So
That's such an interesting time in music history, really.
Well, and it's funny that she was veering in this direction in 2008, which was the same time that like Katy Perry was bringing back the sort of straightforward pop music with the EDM sound, and Gaga was coming out basically doing early Madonna and like straight up like club dance music. It was like nobody else was doing this kind of music at the time. This sort of like, it had all these retro references to like 70s funk and disco put together.
Yeah.
And then it became like the hot thing 6 years later.
And if we all can put ourselves back in 2008 for a moment, let's also remember that because she had worked so heavily with Justin Timberlake on this album, this was also the very first Madonna's album to be launched with a single that was not just Madonna. This was Madonna with Justin Timberlake. And that then became a trend for her after this, where almost every single song after that was always Madonna featuring like MDNA. The first song we got was her, Nicki Minaj, and MIA. So I think the reception was off on a strange foot when we got 4 minutes as a single, and we're like, wait, what? Madonna and Justin Timberlake? Why is it not just Madonna? And very heavily Justin Timberlake on this album. Like if you listen, he's on like half the album with her.
Yeah.
I just wonder if that sort of skewed people's perceptions of the album a little bit.
Oh, totally. Especially longtime fans who were at the time, and I remember this because, like I said, a couple really good friends of mine are also big Madonna fans, and they liked Hard Candy, but they were like, I could do without Justin Timberlake. I'm like, we all could. The universe would be better, but whatever.
Well, because we know Madonna wanted Candy Shop to be the very first single off that album, and she fought against it with Warner Brothers, and they finally won over and said, no, it has to be 4 minutes. But she wanted Candy Shop. I always think that because of that fight with Warner Brothers, that's exactly why she performs it all the time. Because she's like, you know what? This was the song I wanted to release, and you didn't release it. So I'm going to give it all the money from the tour.
Yeah, I mean, that could be. I don't know that was first single material. I still think either Miles Away or Give It To Me should have been the first single. I feel like those are quintessentially Madonna tracks that would have done better at radio, especially because 4 minutes, which is an okay song, but it sounds too much like Earth Intruders, the song that he did with Bjork just like 9 months before 4 minutes came out. And and then Beyonce suffered that same fate when she put out Run the World, and it ripped off that Major Lazer song, and everybody was like, we already heard this. And Christina did it too when she sampled that Chris Brown song, and her song tanked and ruined Bionic with these weird choices for first single. I don't get it. The record companies had lost their mind.
Well, they probably think, oh, well, look how well it worked with them a couple months ago. Let's do it for this.
Right.
Well,
which is
a lot
foolish.
of that
That's
is
not what people want.
Cashing in on Justin Timberlake because he was a hot commodity. I mean, the boy was literally everywhere in the early 2000s.
Yeah, he was bringing sexy back.
And he could do no wrong. I mean, he rips off Janet Jackson's, pops her titty out, and he was still everybody's little, he's just, he's the little cutie.
He didn't know what he was doing.
He didn't know that her nipple was under that
Janet's
part
fault.
of her
Janet
shirt.
asked him to do that. I mean, come on, people. He knew what was going on.
But anyway, all of that to say, I think, me personally, I had been a Madonna fan all my life. And here 4 minutes, and I was like, this is absolute trash. What the fuck? What did she just make me listen to? I'm sitting in the hospital in Germany about to have a baby when 4 minutes drops. And I'm like, oh my God, the premiere. And at that point, we still had video premiere, and it was super exciting. And it was on MTV, and I didn't care what my roommate wanted to watch. I didn't know her, but whatever. And I had, put it on, and I was like, I can't believe this. Like, am I still going to be a fan after this? Really an existential crisis.
Really? Over 4 minutes?
Interesting.
I hated, I really don't ever love the lead singles. Music, for example, was never my...
Oh, yeah, we've been down that road.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I thought 4 minutes was...
You're going to get excommunicated soon.
But listen, if you listen to 4 minutes now, if you turn it up really fucking loud, it's really a good song.
Oh, I actually love 4 minutes. I think 4 minutes is the two of them sound so beautiful together on that track. And I love the Rebirth remix of 4 minutes is heavenly. I love the sound of that, and it sort of takes away the bombastic Timbaland production of 4 minutes, and it makes it a bit more of a smoother dance song. And I think maybe had we heard again, I go back to if we had stripped the production of Timbaland's sound off of some of the songs, it might have fared a little bit better for people. 4 minutes is a very drastically different song for Madonna.
Yes.
It does not sound like her sound. It sounds like something Justin Timberlake would do. And I think that was sort of like an initial resistance. Now I'm used to it, and I think it's part of Madonna canon. And I'm so, but there's also this really great bootleg remix out there. Google it if you can find it. It's 4 minutes to Pajunu, and PJANOO, Pajunu, and some song out there. they mashed it up with 4 minutes, and it's so good. Maybe I'll sneak a little bit of it onto the end of this episode. Stick around to the end of the episode, people. But it's so good. I've never
heard that.
It's so good. And if you don't like the album version of 4 minutes, trust me, this is like heavenly. And just hearing Madonna and her vocals on this, stripped away from that bass and trumpet sound of the regular 4 minutes, she sounds beautiful, and it's wonderful. So yeah,
those keyboard horns on 4 minutes are absolutely terrible. I'm like, why are those even there? But it is interesting how just in the three of us, how differently we all come into that song. Like Liberty didn't, was like, what is this? It's weird. You didn't like the production. For me, it was a case of it being that too familiar because it sounded like that Bjork song, and I was, which no one has probably ever heard. Sure, go find it on YouTube. It's cute, but it was like subpar Bjork, and it just, that's so interesting. But I think we can all agree it shouldn't have been the first single. Yeah.
Yeah, I could say that.
Give It To Me probably would have fared a little bit better. But I understand from a marketing perspective why they wanted to splash. They wanted to attach 100%. Her and Justin Timberlake and, Liberty. And maybe Liberty, you just don't like the song because you were having labor pains when you heard it, Like maybe it's just like PTSD where like every time you hear bum, 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 you're like, oh, and you start feeling like the pangs of labor over again.
Or maybe that noise induced it and that it was over even faster.
Oh my God, I wish that was the story.
Just imagine if they had done Give It To Me first and the video budget had gone into that video instead of all that goofy special effects in 4 minutes. It was just, I was like, why?
Listen, whenever I'm in the supermarket checking out groceries, I always want to hop on that conveyor belt and do that choreo.
And do your yoga dance moves. Oh my God.
I just want to be like strutting on that conveyor belt like Madonna and Justin do, and I kind of like, I've always wondered, I'm like, how many times did they have to practice slipping in through those car windows? Because I'm like, I would have bashed my head or something.
Oh, for sure.
Like
my back would have been all scratched up.
Maybe that was her stunt choreographer. Was it Stephanie? Maybe Stephanie was doing that.
Oh, maybe so. That could be right.
Can we talk about how gorgeous she looked in the video? I mean, hello.
Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah, she looked amazing.
That key light, I mean, her hair, I thought she looked beautiful. I loved her outfit, I thought her and Justin were having fun in the video. It was fun to see. It was fun to see them dancing around. And
for sure.
I liked how every flesh-toned layer she took off, I more and more was like, well, I guess I need to go to the gym some more. I'm like, I want to look like that. Well, and now I'm the same age she was when that video came out. I'm the same age. I'm like, oh my goodness. Her workout regimen must have been insane.
I was just really pissed that every time she took off a layer, Justin didn't take off a layer. I'm like, Justin, come on. You've got a scarf and a jacket on. You can't still strip down to a tank top at least, Justin.
Yeah, we didn't need to see that.
I would have enjoyed seeing that.
I wouldn't.
Oh, I would have liked
cute
that.
In 2008, he was cute.
Sure.
He had a body. I don't know what it's like anymore, but in 2008, I wouldn't have been mad.
Okay.
I mean, look, okay, Ben, we know Justin's titties aren't as big as yours. We get it.
I just don't care for him.
Clearly, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, next topic.
Let's talk about the bonus tracks or the B-side tracks, the tracks that didn't make the album. Obviously, there's Ring My Bell, which was an official bonus track, but then there were a couple other songs. What are they? Latte, Animal.
Animal. Oh my God, that song is just wicked. I love it.
Across the Sky.
Broken. Isn't Broken written in that?
Broken was written then, but then they didn't finish it until Celebration.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because I can't see Broken. Okay, hello. See, maybe if Broken had sounded like 4 minutes, we all would have been like, ugh, I can't stand Broken. But Broken was produced by Oakenfeld, and we're like, oh, yay, Broken. You know, who knows? You never know. So my favorite unreleased track from that is definitely Across the Sky. So good. I can see why they didn't put it on the album, because it did sort of share a little bit of affinity to Miles Away, and Miles Away was probably the stronger track that they wanted to put out there, maybe because it resonated a little bit more with Madonna. But Across the Sky, I just think is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful.
I love Across the Sky, but you know what? Once I had my hands on Animal, that was on my running and gym playlist for years. That song stomps. Like, you can hear the boots that she wore through this entire era. You can hear them in that song. Like, she's just walking all over that fool. I love it. I love that one.
I always felt like Animal was Rebecca Carlson
reincarnated.
Reincarnated. Thank you.
A little Dita, absolutely. I gotta give it to Animal.
All right, so with Hard Candy, we were very limited on the amount of actual videos that we got. Although we got 3 singles, we only got 2 music videos. Obviously, one was for 4 minutes, and the other was for Give It To Me. Miles Away did not get a video. Would have loved to have seen one. Liberty would not have loved to see that.
Well, it had the live video from the tour.
It had the live.
Yeah.
That was also a disappointment.
Yeah.
It was.
You see, they fucked up with Miles Away, because
it should have rolled out a little bit better.
People like me just be like, nah.
But so what did you think about the videos that we got? I mean, obviously 4 minutes was a huge budget. They definitely put some money behind it, and I thought it was very loud and splashy and kind of fun. It's poppy. There's a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, that crazy computer generated monster coming to like eat away at the world.
The Event Horizon.
As Justin and Madonna are fleeing and singing through supermarkets and people making out in cars, and eventually it catches up to them. They can't save the world. It no matter how hard they try with their song. The Event Horizon still got them.
See, I think they should have been working out or something in the video. I don't know. I don't know.
You would have liked a different premise.
I mean, they sort of talk, or they talk. No, they show, right, the tongue kissing, right, and then it's sort of like a anatomy, like a look at the anatomy. It's a slice through what the tongue looks like on the inside, and the cheek and the mouth. And I don't know, I would have liked a little bit more of that risky videography, I guess, if you will, like some of that, you know.
You would have liked a little bit more 9 Inch Nails.
I wanted to see more, because it was to me, it was a little vanilla. I mean, the thing is and I'm just going to say this, even though I don't like live on this planet, but the fact that I think they wanted to sort of downplay the age difference and how much older Madonna is than Justin, by giving her a more youthful sort of vibe, right? And they definitely she makes sure to show her body, because that is the most, I think, like, impressive part of physical Madonna. But I don't know. I felt like there was just something missing, something not there.
I feel like the concept for the video was ahead of its time, and it needed, again, 15 years later, they would film that in the volume on the studio lot, and it would be like Madonna and Justin in a Marvel movie sort of situation. But instead we got it was almost like a play with special effects, because we were clearly on a set and they were moving around the set in the different setups, and then they added the special effects. But then we had the intercut with the choreo, which was revisiting some of the Me Against the Music yoga flip-flop choreo, and then it had some other choreo. I mean, I give it a B-. Sure.
And what do we think about Give It To Me? So obviously that was filmed while she was doing a photo shoot with Tom Monroe, and she looks beautiful. I did think it aired a little similar to the opening of Hung Up, when she's in the studio and she's sort of like warming up. And Give It To Me, she's up against a mirror with a dance bar, and it's sort of very similar in that respect. but she looks very modern, and she's
Yes.
she's got that feather boa, and she's got a cute little outfit. I thought she looked beautiful.
It was.
Yes, I thought so too.
I agree. It was too many setups, though.
Yes.
My favorite one was the black fur with the black mini dress with all the gold chains. The same outfit she then left the shoot and went to BET.
Yes,
and did
M-Dolla.
that. And
M-Dolla.
she looked amazing. And there
so
should have
good.
been more of that look in the video. And she had that lamp and the brick wall. Because I was like you, Stefan. I thought the stuff with like the ratty tatty clothes and the dance studio, I was like, oh, we've been here before.
Yeah.
And then there was the setup with like the weird flowy peasant top and like the paisley or some kind of weird pattern on the wall, and it was like sepia tone. I was like,
Yes.
no, why are we here?
Yeah, maybe a lower budget. I mean, that's probably why they were there,
Yeah.
but it's not, it just isn't as engaging, I think. It doesn't have as much of a story feel like 4 Minutes has.
Absolutely.
4 Minutes at least has a little bit of an arc, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas Give It To Me is just kind of like, now I'm vacuuming. Now I'm in
Oh,
the
I
studio.
love the behind the scenes of that video.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
If anything, that just makes it worth it when she's like, somebody shut off the vacuum cleaner, and she's like singing the Evita song when through the megaphone. I mean, it's kind of fun. Like, Google that, people, if you haven't seen that clip. Just, it's the behind the scenes.
That should have been part of the video. Like they should have had her in that ridiculously glamorous outfit, vacuuming and lip syncing, because that's her kind of humor, and it would have been funny instead of vampy. I was missed opportunity.
I love behind the scenes video stuff from Madonna, like the take a bow thing.
Oh my God.
I mean, she's must be having so much fun because she's like working, but in between setups, and she's kind of funny during those moments.
Oh, she's hilarious. Yeah, she has a great sense of humor. She's a comedian. We already know. We've seen her since then. Her comedic career has been taking off.
Yeah.
And is there really anything to say about that Miles Away tour video clip? It was just...
It's just a letdown.
It just wasn't dynamic.
Yeah.
I think it deserves... I mean, look, it's again not my favorite song, but people love it so much that it really deserves its own, again, an arc that is something people can be like, wow.
I would have been okay with it had we intercut footage of her singing that song on tour, and then there was like new footage shot of her to tell the story. So it's like a literal depiction of, Madonna's on tour and she's, having this tough time living,
constantly traveling, hotels.
She's traveling, and it's tough to live a long distance relationship. Like I would have loved to have sort of seen a little something. Just somebody.
She could have been writing love letters on her BlackBerry.
Yeah, just get a Super 8 camera and film it on the plane.
Yep.
Well,
Spot on.
those were the days before she had Ricardo, and now maybe she would have done something like that. Where she's like, let's just.
True.
I mean, I always want, anytime she releases a single, I always want a video. I don't care how low budget it is, just shoot it with an iPhone. Just give me visuals to accompany the song. I'd always want to see visuals from her. So,
well, especially when we know that there is a camera constantly going around her. I mean, even on, I don't remember what tour it was where everybody was like, no, definitely, Nathan or Rissman, I think is his name. He's with her, it's definitely, that means that they're filming a documentary. I think it was Rebel Heart. Nothing ever came, right? But she's always got somebody with her with a camera, just constantly filming everything.
Thousands upon thousands of hours of footage of her locked in a vault that they must be planning for like years from now to release.
It's all going to be posthumous. Yeah.
It's just so weird.
100%.
Well, thanks for taking a trip back to 2008 with me. I want to remind everyone, both Liberty and Ben have skippable songs on this album. That is the takeaway.
Fight me.
The takeaway here, people.
Controversial ones at that. Yeah. So it's fine. It's fine. Come for me.
I sent for you.
Their DMs are open. You can find them on
they're
Instagram.
not. You'll just get deleted. But
It's okay. You'll land in my others box and I'll be like 3 weeks later, be like, what is this? Oh my gosh. Somebody wanted to talk to me.
Look, hate mail. Someone wants to send me a powder in the mail. What?
The special powder, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and remember, everyone, you can find us on Instagram at MLVC Podcast. We're also on YouTube at MLVC Podcast. You can donate to the show. We're on Venmo, MLVC Podcast, or think about becoming a subscriber. Help keep the show going. Get these episodes for anybody else. Patreon.podbean.com/MLVC Podcast. Liberty Ben. See my booty get down like... see my booty get down like...
This has been incredible. Really, just incredible. Let's finish what we started, okay? Incredible. Let's finish what we started.
Justice for incredible liberty.
There you go.
We've got it.
Happy Easter.
Go walk your
Yes.
dog. Don't let it walk you.
There you go.
I'm here all night.
Dance tonight, no need. Da, 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 da.